Let me paint a picture for you. Things are great. Your revenues, margins, profits are up. Your company is running like a well-oiled machine. And you decide that the time is right to cash out and sell your company to the highest bidder. Let's say it all goes well and you have several interested buyers who are all willing to give you your dream purchase price and more. So, you take the next step. You sign a letter of intent with the buyer and due diligence on your company begins. All of a sudden, you realize that your key employees are really key to getting your deal closed, and depending on your key employees' motivations and actions, your purchase price can go up or down, or it may kill the deal altogether. We call these the key employee hostage scenarios. Let's talk about a few. First, there's the contractual scenario. There are two contractual aspects that can create a nightmare for you. These are non-compete and non-solicitation agreements. Non-competes are basically contracts between the employer and the employee that restricts the ability of the employee to compete with the employer for a certain duration of time. This keeps your key employee from starting a new business right when you're in the process of selling your business. In non-solicit agreements, the employee cannot solicit your company's clients as well as solicit other employees for recruitment purposes. We've seen cases where the employees have caused a lot of problems for the selling business owner because the business owner did not have the right contracts in place with their key employees. And besides, even if you had the best contracts, many states do not recognize non-compete agreements, or there may be serious enforceability issues with these agreements. So it's best to have these on your radar. Next is the last-minute scenario. The very definition of a key employee is an employee who's essential to the livelihood of the business. Because this employee is a key employee, in some cases they have the capacity to go down the block and start their own business, especially with unenforceable or negligent contracts, and they have the power to take some of your other key employees with them. We came across a situation recently where the key employee, during due diligence, demanded that he be given a significant chunk of the sales proceeds or he would walk. The key employee was material enough to the business, so much so that the buyer would not buy the business without the presence of that key employee. And as a result, the business owner was held hostage and ended up having to share a nice chunk of change with the key employee to get him to stick around. Let's talk about the respect scenario. The business owner in a sale is extremely worried about confidentiality and almost never takes the time early on to tell the key employees that they're intending to sell. And often, there's no clear plan for participation in the sale proceeds. As a result, the key employee may feel disrespected and may not want to stick around. If they leave during due diligence, the sale could fall apart. If they leave after you've sold, depending on the transaction structure, especially if you have an earnout, it could still cost you an arm and a leg. Next up is the burnout scenario. Everyone always talks about the business owner burning out and that being a motivation to sell the business. What no one talks about is the key employee burning out. In many cases, the key employee may not want to stick around for much longer because they're burnt out and they want to start a new chapter in their life. On the other hand, the buyer may make their offer contingent upon the employee staying, and at the very last minute, you're scrambling to convince your key employee to stick around by giving them hefty incentives so you can get the agreed upon purchase price. Finally, let's talk about the step back in scenario. This comes into play in an internal succession to family members or other key employees. To make the transition successful, you need your principal key employee to stick around, because if they start leaving, this will disrupt your life, likely requiring you to step back into the business to help your successors, especially if you have a vested financial interest. So, what to do? We always advise our clients to lock down their key employees through various incentives. You want your key employees to perform before the sale, leading up to the sale, during the sale, and after the sale, during the earnout or other contingent period. Consider golden handcuffs in the form of a deferred compensation plan or a sinking fund long before the sale is ever considered. Generally, we may also recommend that a certain percentage of the future sale proceeds be added to that sinking fund. As a part of making this plan work long-term, performance metrics and a vesting schedule are created So key employees have measurable targets and a vested interest to help sell the company and help keep the company performing post-sale. Remember, the buyer is not just buying your cash flow, they're buying the stability and sustainability of that cash flow. And if they feel that the cash flow is at risk, you will either get a valuation discount resulting in less money in your pocket, or they'll simply walk away from your business. Most business owners agree that their key employees are their biggest asset. And if your biggest asset goes home tonight and refuses to come back tomorrow, I'm sure you understand the consequences of that action on the value of your business. Rare Brain Capital helps companies like yours improve performance and sell for maximum value. How ready is your company to grow or sell? Come see how you're doing. Get your free score and customized report in just a few minutes at no cost or obligation. Visit rarebrain.com/score.